Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time once again for Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article and read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if absolutely necessary. So, what is happening in the world of Elite? There is a lot going on, and it's primarily focused on the Spire sites at the moment. If you haven't heard, there are new missions that are available from the rescue ships that are on-foot missions that give ship-based rewards, which is really nice because it really shows how Odyssey is finally integrating after all these years of kind of being treated as a separate thing, finally integrating into the greater existing Elite Dangerous technology. So we're really happy about that. So Taco Tuesday. Before I continue, I do apologize in advance. I have been struggling with a voice issue over the last week or so. So I have had a constant cough and just can't really have trouble breathing lately. So if I have to take a moment, please forgive me as I try to get through this, I promise. But Taco Tuesday, I was kind of concerned about this episode because yesterday's article was about Felicia Winters. And Felicia Winters stole the election from El Presidente. I got to tell you right now. And so I don't appreciate election stealers. And so I didn't really want to talk about Felicia Winters because basically the article is her comeback against what Hudson is doing on his way out. So it's just the usual political stuff. Thankfully, Frontier came through today with some spicy stuff. And so we are going to take a look today at something that is really concerning. And it's something I've discussed on this channel before in relation to the humans that have been rescued from the Titans. That's right. We are going to talk about those people. We're going to learn a little bit about what's going on with them at the moment. And we're going to talk about what could potentially happen to them. So here we go. And we knew this was coming. I mean, anyone who knows even science fiction stories and even realistic stories as far as dealing with people who have been through these kind of traumatic experiences and may potentially be compromised, we have to be careful. And so we kind of knew this was coming. This is the start of the big debate on what do we do with these people. The Empire has a couple of things to say. And so, like I said, I don't read these. I haven't read this. I maybe saw a couple of words as I was posting it into this. So we're going to experience it together. So let's get started with concerns raised over Titan returnees. People who were recovered from the Thargoids have been flagged as potential biohazards by an Imperial Medical Institute. That's pretty harsh. I mean, biohazards? Are they radioactive? What's happening here? Dr. Zoe Terentia, chief researcher at the Commodeo, I guess that's how you say that, Medipure, published her findings in the Citizens Chronicle. Our analysis of abducted Imperial citizens currently in isolation has yielded disturbing results. Ooh, so there are results, because I think beginning we weren't seeing any difference in them. There is clear evidence of an autoimmune response in multiple subjects. These manifest as minor physiological changes at a superficial level, which are mostly being dismissed. So that might account for the fact that when we first recovered these humans, we didn't see anything unusual about them. They just were kind of there. So that's pretty interesting. That's So it may not be a big deal. It may be nothing. But when it comes to the potential that these people are compromised in some way, whether it's physiological, psychological, whatever, it needs to be considered and it needs to be looked after. So in my professional opinion, this qualifies as evidence that these individuals have been altered in some way by the Thargoid-constructed biostorage capsules. And that's actually probably a reasonable conclusion. I recommend that they all be relocated to a high-security location beyond inhabited space. Should further mutations manifest, euthanasia should be considered to prevent any chance of contamination. I cannot believe they just said that. That's harsh. Wow. Okay. I mean, okay, so here's my issue. That's kind of a cheap way out. Like, if there's a mutation of some kind, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to study, learn. There's usually some kind of way that you can counteract these kind of things. Euthanasia, that's pretty harsh. Wow. I get the point though of prevention, contamination, and stuff like that. It is a harsh reality, but when it comes to biohazard contamination, there are a lot of plans out there for nations and companies that that are involved in this kind of stuff. That annihilation is a quick way to stop contamination. Just saying. Director Ivano Columbera of the Imperial Science Agency, who acts as the Empire's scientific liaison to Aegis, opposed this assessment. All right, Ivano, there you go. The life support systems in Thargoid biostorage capsules were intrusive, and in some cases left residual scarring. We would expect human physiology to react negatively to such an invasive artificial environment, and these natural immunological responses hardly qualify as mutations. So we should not consider this a cause for alarm. Nevertheless, I agree that all returnees must stay quarantined until all necessary scientific observations are complete. Ivano, I'm on your side. You know, the Thargoids had some kind of goo or some kind of way of sustaining human life, but the introduction of that foreign substance into the body is going to be treated as a foreign substance, and so the body's going to do what it does. The human body's designed to evolve and change to as necessary to fight off whatever disease and bacterias and threats that it faces. We may not be able to conquer it in a generation, but over time the human race has evolved to be able to sustain itself against these kinds of intrusive actions. And so, it's really important that we not rush to euthanasia. Okay, let's not go to the mass suicide Jonestown stuff. Let's just everybody calm down and let's talk about this, and let's treat this as what it is, a medical concern. It really is a medical concern. And scientists should be like, I don't want this to sound, I don't want people to get this the wrong way, but scientists should be jumping up and down at the prospect of being able to research humans that have been modified by the Thargoids. It's an opportunity to learn, grow, discover, and it might, sometimes it's these little things. It's the little things that could potentially be the key to unlocking the big things that we need to conquer them. The Imperial Herald featured related comments from Senator Caspian Leopold, another member of the delegation to Aegis. I concur with Director Columbera that caution must be our watchword. I'm told that those rescued from the Titans are being made comfortable as possible. We haven't seen any photos of those people. There's not been any video, or we haven't seen any kind of media about these people. So they're comfortable, but if you've ever stayed in any kind of government quarters, comfortable in the government sense is not the same as comfort in the civilian sense. So I'm very skeptical of the comfort level that these people are being subjected to. But for now, they must remain isolated. I know that our stoic citizens will understand their duty. Okay? I really hate when people do this, okay? I hate when these people who are in these positions of power like to project the dedication and responsibility of the citizens like that. These citizens don't have a duty to you. They were kidnapped, okay? They were forced into an alien pod against their will. They don't owe you anything. If anything, we owe them everything. We owe them the best treatment that we can find, the best opportunity to get better, and to eventually reintegrate, which I honestly don't think is going to happen. I think that's a fantasy. But we, as human beings, as the leaders of these nations and these empires and all of these organizations that are designed supposedly to take care of each other, we owe it to these people to take care of them. And so treating them like deadly lab rats it's disgusting. It really is. And you can tell the difference. Look at the language. Look at the language for Ivano, a scientist. Look at what he's saying. He's talking about this stuff from a molecular level as a scientific approach to benefit whoever. And then you got your politicians that are like, oh, let's just nuke them. Let's just nuke them from orbit and call it a day. That stuff burns me. It really does. Regarding this topic, Azimuth Biotech's offer to perform scientific tests on returnees has been formally rejected by the Senate. Of course it has. They decided that further association with Azimuth would not be of benefit to the Empire. And that's possible. I mean, Azimuth is just as bad as anybody else out there, including Aegis. And speaking personally, I will not countenance letting those butchers anywhere near our people. Oh, man, it's getting spicy. I kind of got on a soapbox there, but I mean it. It's okay to have concerns. We should have concerns. We should be cautious. Caution should be the watchword. But you want to be careful of going from caution to surrender very quickly. These are people. These are not spaceships. These are not pods. These are not cargo. These are people, families with hopes, dreams, experiences, love, hate, loss, everything, all the gambit of human emotion and experience each one of these people have, and that's important and that's special, and we got to remember that. It's no good for us to fight the Thargoids just for the fun of it, just to take out another Orthrus or another Medusa, just to see it explode in the sky because we're fighting for humanity. We will lose this war if we beat the Thargoids, but we treat our people like this because this is not human. You win the war, you lose your humanity, we've lost completely. It's over. It was a waste of time. And I hope to God that we find a better way to handle this. I really do. And the unfortunate part is that people like Zoe are the ones that get the final say. Ivano's going to be standing there screaming and yelling, and Zoe is going to be the one that gets the final say because she's the chief researcher, which is usually just an indication that they've, kissed enough political rear end to get a position of power. And they probably don't touch anything to do with research. They don't know anything about these people. But I'll get off my soapbox. But this one really burns me. And these people deserve better. We all deserve better. These are the disciples. Thank you to the disciples. You guys keep this channel going. As you can see, there's been a lot of content on this channel, and it's going to continue. We are approaching the end of the year, so there will be a couple more of these before I take a break over the holiday season and return in January. So we're going to go through November and into a little bit of December, and then I'll be taking a break. But if you would like to contribute, I would love to have you contribute because every little bit helps with the content here and the stuff that I'm doing on other social media networks. So you can go to patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. Your name will be on this screen. You also get access to some special stuff, secret videos that I don't share with everybody else, stuff made exclusively for patrons. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. So if you would like to contribute, please, I'd love to have you. And that is it for Talk O Tuesday. This one was a little more personal and passionate than I had expected. It's much better than that stupid Winters article that was out. I was so glad I didn't have to read that. We have to remember why we're fighting. It's not for a high score. We're fighting for humanity. And if we surrender our humanity but win the physical war, it's all lost. It really is. Because if we murder these millions of people because we're scared of them, we are no better than some of the worst dictators and just fascist, hateful people that have existed throughout history. We are no better. None of us. We can't treat people like that. And so we have to remember that when we're fighting, what we're fighting for a victory for humanity, to show that we are capable of rising above a challenge, of being better than our enemy, and not allowing ourselves to stoop to that level, to not be brought down to a level that just totally rips out the essence of who we are. We're explorers, we're fighters, scientists. We're people who are trying to do better and expand our horizons. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But thank you all for joining me for this Talk O Tuesday. I will see you next week for God knows what at this point. I think I'm going to go hit some spires. So you guys take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.